So the Deepdene Trail is less than a mile outside of Dorking town centre. It covers about 7 miles in total, 70 acres. But the core of Deepdene Trail is centred around the historic gardens. They extend out to encompass from the gardens a wonderful terrace which has dramatic views down to the south, the Hope Mausoleum, and Betchworth Castle going over towards Brockham. There's a great varied topography and landscape, so lots of interesting things to see.
It's a bit of an undiscovered jewel in a Surrey town that's got little surprises around each corner.
I think it can probably help bring people together. It gives them another area to explore, take time out of their busy lives and sort of have family time here and just enjoy the history that's associated with the site as well.
Deepdene has a fascinating history. It started in the mid-17th century when it was inherited by the Honourable Charles Howard. He had a very small estate here and created this magical, wonderful garden. But throughout the 18th century, the gardens became less formal. And then at the beginning of the 19th century, Deepdene was bought by Thomas Hope. The Hopes were a fascinating family. They were Scottish by descent. They were hugely successful and went on to found Hope and Company Bank. Thomas Hope, who is sort of the hero of our story, grew up in this environment of immense riches. He took a great interest in the ancient world, and it really caught his imagination, and he had a huge amount of money, so could indulge this. The family had been travelling in Italy, and their youngest son caught a fever and died. Their family were heartbroken, and it's most likely that on that journey home, Hope was thinking about building this mausoleum to house the remains of his dearly beloved son. So the first recorded works we have at Deepdene are this amazing mausoleum. It's neo-Grecian, it's one of the earliest of its kind, and after that, the following year, you see a great programme of building works where he remodels Deepdene into this remarkable vision of the picturesque that it became. It was inherited by Lord Francis Hope, and he racked up huge debts, and Deepdene was really a means to really sort of fund his extravagant lifestyle. So he started selling off the family heirlooms, and then the house was sold in 1920 and became a hotel. And by 1939 there was pretty much no one actually staying there. It was bought by Southern Rail as an emergency war measure, and they moved their headquarters from London to Deepdene. And when they were there, they discovered this amazing network of caves, which they enlarged and put their communication centre in there. So Deepdene was actually hugely important from the Second World War effort. Southern Rail left in 1966, and the house was demolished soon after, and the current concrete building replaced it in 1970. I was shown the site in 2008, and it was just very exciting. It completely caught my imagination. But just the landscape seemed to hold a great deal of promise, and it was curious. It's a very interesting location. It's a very dramatic hillside in a very compact landscape. We're really lucky to have an amazing group of volunteers, and they're called the Friends of Deepdene, and they've been working on the site since 2011, really to restore this landscape back to a rich ecological standing.
2 days a week I volunteer with a lot of other people as well. We've cleared the whole area. You wouldn't have been able to see the parterre or any of this beforehand.
When we first started, we were working on little parts of it. It was a bit like a jigsaw, and for 2 or 3 years we really couldn't see the sense of it. But then all the links started coming together. This is unique to the area. You can go from an ordinary wood, you've got a romantic castle one end of the walk, you come through the beautiful Deans here, and again we've got castellated towers. You can continue the walk through the woods and we come to a mausoleum, and they're all individually famous places linked by some really nice walking areas.
It's opening up this corner of Dorking to the public, but also I know a lot of schools are interested in the local primary schools and secondary schools. There's so much history here, they can connect it into their national curriculum. There are also groups such as scouting groups, brownie groups, rainbows, who are using the landscape for walks.
It's opened up another aspect of Dorking. It's something that is historically so important, and it's rare in a career that you get to be involved in a project that actually transforms something. And over the last few years I've been part of a project, and every time I come here I'm filled with pride.
As you go through, we have an app which you can download for free, and that tells the story and that guides you as you go around. Thanks to the funding from the Heritage Lottery Fund, we have that app, but we also have a virtual tour. So if you go to Dorking Museum, you can explore Deepdene as it would have looked in 1825. And it's really, we hope that with all these tools that you get a real sense of what was here.
I think it still is a never-ending project, but you know, when you unearth various things, like we've unearthed the grotto and the mausoleum, and it's just magical, I think, is the only way you can describe it.